Alright, so let's take a look at number 6. So number 6 is going to be one that's similar to what we did in number 4, which was we were going back in time. So hopefully right away when you're thinking back in time, oh, I'm thinking negative exponent. But let's just go through here and identify what's happening. So it says a 10-year-old truck depreciates. Okay, so depreciate, again, we said that it goes down in value. So goes down in value. So you know that if we're talking about something that's decreasing, something that's getting smaller, then it's not going to be 1 plus, it's going to be 1 minus, it's going to be a decay. Well, let's figure out what our initial amount is here. It says it's currently, so currently is worth $3,500. So that's going to be our A. And so our initial amount here, where we're saying it is right now, we're saying that it's at $3,500, and we want to know how it's changing. Well, we're saying that it's decreasing by 12%. So there's our R. So, and again, it's decreasing. So it's not going to be growth. It's going to be decay. And what else do we need to know here? We need to know time. What are we talking about with time? So it says a 10-year-old truck, what was it worth when it was new? So what we're saying is if you go back, we're going back 10 years, right? So we're going back 10 years. Because we're going back to, we want to know, well, what was it worth when it was new? I know used what it's worth right now, but I'm saying like when we first bought this thing, how much was it worth? So we're going to go back 10 years. So because we're going back in time, we're going to have a negative exponent, right? So we're going to have a negative exponent there. So we'll say negative exponent. Alright, well, let's set this thing up. So we got y equals A, which is where we're saying it's worth today, which would be 3,500, times how it's changing. It's going down or it's decreasing, so that would be a minus, decreasing by 12%. 12% would be 12 cents, so 0.12. And then our time frame that we're looking at is we're saying, oh, we're going back in time, so it would be a negative 10 years. Right? So let's make sure we're clear. This is negative because we're going back in time. This is minus because it's decreasing in value. So you have to understand, why we just didn't want these two to match just for fun. It just worked out because negative going back in time, minus because it's depreciating or getting smaller. Alright, so let's just clean this up a little bit. We got 3,500. Dollar minus 12 cents would give me 88 cents. So again, I see that this is less than 1, so that tells me I'm talking about something that's decreasing, and then that would be to the negative 10. So let's put that in the calculator, see what we come up with. So $3,500, what the car's worth right now, times how it's changing, and then that's raised the roof to the negative 10. And again, negative because we're going back in time. So we end up getting 12,567. 12,567. And what's the change on that? 28 cents. Now, you might think, well, 12,000, that's pretty cheap for a car. Well, we're also talking about 10 years ago, right? So in that case, 10 years ago, in the past wasn't as expensive. But we see that this, we would have expected that this number was larger than that one because, well, this is what it's worth now, so it was worth more, right, when we first bought it or when we first paid for it. All right, so go ahead and stop the video now. Try number 6.